Hey guys, John V here from PhoneArena. You're watching our in-depth video review of the Samsung Galaxy Nexus for Sprint. So this guy's basically the same exact handset that Verizon launched back in December. It features support for Sprint's LTE connectivity, so it's one of the few devices to have that, and it's priced at $200 for a 2-year contract. Aside from the obvious Sprint branding in the back, this handset's identical to Verizon's version almost every way. It's your typical Samsung-made device, constructed out of plastic all around. Luckily, it is a little bit on the tough side, and you have the hyperskin finish in the back. Gives it a good amount of grip in the hand, and has some contours, so we're able to hold it quite comfortably. But to tell you the truth, nothing really exciting about the overall design, just because we've seen it before. There's no doubt about it, even to this day, the display on the Samsung Galaxy Nexus is an attractive one. It's the same 4.65-inch Super AMOLED HD display, 720 by 1280 pixels. It does use that Pentel matrix arrangement, but honestly, it still exhibits a lot of clarity, good details, so we're able to make out fine text with no problems. And seeing that it's a Super AMOLED display, it exhibits some wide viewing angles, some punchy and vibrant looking colors, high contrast, to really capture our attention. Naturally, it has a very clean look. It foregoes using any capacitive Android buttons. It's integrated with the interface, and above the display you have the front-facing camera and the earpiece. On the left edge of the phone, we just have the volume control here. It's raised and has a good tactile feel. While on the right, you have the dock connection ports here, a dedicated power button. It's also raised and has a good distinctive feel. So we find the 3.5mm headset jack, the microphone, and a micro USB port all on the bottom edge. With the micro USB port, you also gain video out functionality with the aid of an MHL adapter. And finally, in the rear, it's the same 5-megapixel autofocus camera as before with a single LED flash. Towards the bottom, you have the notch there for the speaker. Removing the back cover, you just yank it off like so. It's just a flimsy piece of plastic. Gain access to its 1820 mAh battery, and also features NFC. It's somewhat difficult to believe it, but the Samsung Galaxy Nexus for Sprint is still one of the few devices on the market to feature the most up-to-date Android experience in Ice Cream Sandwich, so it's definitely nice that it has that, but it's nothing really new compared to what we've seen before. Same exact experience, a stock Ice Cream Sandwich experience, a lot of personalization, looks more like honeycomb devices, honeycomb tablets just because of the interface, but if you checked out the Verizon version, there's nothing different about this guy. Under the hood, Sprint's version is powered by the same 1.2 GHz dual-core TI OMAP 4430 processor, and it's coupled with 1 GB of RAM. So for most basic operations, it's pretty quick, but as you can tell here with a live wallpaper, it has a little bit tougher time in actually maneuvering with its fluidity, a little bit choppy with its overall operation. But nevertheless, it's never to the point stagnant or crawling, so it's acceptable, but we'd expect a little bit better. With so much real estate to play around with, it's very easy in the fingers when it comes to text messaging or just messaging in general. The keyboard is a stock experience, of course, very responsive and quick to the touch. If you prefer, you also have voice recognition, so you can actually dictate what you want to say. And of course, landscape mode provides for a more spacious layout. But either or, it's very easy to use. As we quickly load up the web browser here, you can tell right off the bat that it has a little bit of choppy movement with its operation. Not the most fluid thing we've seen. It could be due to Flash, testing it out a little bit, but it is kind of a little bit of a damper. And on top of that, Sprint's LTE network's not around. It's in testing markets around the country, but it's really holding the device from really captivating a huge audience, just because, of course, we could expect faster data speeds, but with 3G, it's pretty typical, nothing that great. Since we're given a stock Ice Cream Sandwich experience, the music player will be very familiar with too many people out there. If we go back here and place it in landscape, you'll quickly notice that it has that same 3D carousel effect. Nice looking interface here, but nothing really new. As far as the audio quality of the speaker, it's good, producing strong tones, very pleasant. And on top of that, there are a variety of different equalizer settings to better fine-tune its audio quality. Thanks to its sharp-looking display, the video watching experience is excellent. The video wave here is encoded in MPEG-4, 1920 by 1280 resolution. You can tell, moving very steadily, nice punchy colors, good details, very enjoyable, but it doesn't have support for other codecs such as DivX or XVID out of the box. Not surprisingly, image quality with its 5-megapixel autofocus camera hasn't changed one bit. It does well for macro shots and also scenery shots outdoors with plenty of lighting, and it's pretty much on par to other premium smartphones. But indoors or low lighting conditions, it doesn't handle dynamic range that well, especially in high contrast scenery. And in low lighting conditions, you notice some graininess. Its LED flash is good enough only up to 3 feet away, but anything more than that, it tends to make the colors look bland. At the same time, its 1080p video recording quality is similar to still shot images. It's decent for outdoor usage, but if you take it indoors under low lighting, it's pretty pathetic just because a lot of digital noise. And unfortunately though, it moves at 24 frames per second, so it's not the smoothest thing we've seen out there. Call quality with the Samsung Galaxy Nexus for Sprint is pretty good actually. The earpiece produced some natural distinctive tones. Even our callers on their end line didn't have any issues hearing us. And when we switched to using the speakerphone, the volume output's good, but it tends to have just a little bit of echoing, but they're still able to make out conversations with it. Compared to other Sprint devices that we have on us, the signal strength on the Samsung Galaxy Nexus seems to be rather weak. It also fluctuates every now and then, but luckily we didn't experience any dropped phone calls during our testing. Even now, we're still desiring a little bit more battery life with the Sprint Samsung Galaxy Nexus. With its 1820 mAh battery, we're able to get roughly a little bit over 15 hours out of normal usage, but that's only with 3G connectivity. Considering that LTE connections take up a lot more juice, you kind of wonder what's going to be like. So here's the problem with the Samsung Galaxy Nexus for Sprint. For starters, it's $200 for a 2-year contract, and this is essentially the same device we've seen on Verizon's lineup for the past 5 months already. So it's a little bit late on the game here. And on top of that, you have devices like the HTC Evo 4G LTE on the horizon bearing the same price point, but it seems a lot more attractive, seeing that it is the newer handset. And to top it off, the LTE connectivity, the LTE network with Sprint is not yet quite as dominant compared to its competition. So you're really not making use out of that 4G LTE connection on this device. But if you really want an ice cream sandwich device right now, this is probably the device you want to get for Sprint. So if you'd like to learn more about the Samsung Galaxy Nexus guys, you could check out our website, PhoneArena.com. This is John V. As always, thanks for watching.